Hey guys, we're live. I just looked so dorky doing that, but I'm so happy to be live with you guys again. It has been such a long time, and um, I finished my workday a little bit early. I set this Bantu knot out on this is Monday. I think I did it on Saturday, and so I'm like, I've got to take it down. Now, look at this gray. Look at this. Look. Oh, a mess. Um, I'm all over the place, but um, do you guys have gray like this too? Like, if you guys look, you'll see that I have color on my hair. I cut all of the color out of my hair, or most of it, when I did my big chop at the beginning of the year, the one I filmed for you guys and uploaded. And that was kind of where I decided to start semi all over again. And so since then, I've been thinking about how to cover this gray. And so I think I'm going to use, and you guys have asked me how I'm going to cover it, or what I use to color my hair. And I'm actually going to go back to using henna. So I think I'm going to record that for you guys. But anyway, in today's video, that's not what we're here for. So thank you guys for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how I'm going to style this Bantu knot out. It has been setting for like the last 2 days. I got up this morning thinking I was going to take it down before my work day. It did not happen. So I thought it'd be cool to demonstrate how I style it live, just so you guys could see all of the process, and hopefully it will help you as you style your future Bantu knot outs. If you're like me and you have fine hair, you may feel like fine hair is so difficult to style. Bantu knot outs are hard to style. Twist outs, braid outs, flexi rod sets, and the like are really, really difficult to style. Once upon a time, I had mastered all those styles, and then I got hooked on wash and goes. And so recently I decided when I cut my hair, I would go back to basics and I would try to master all of those styles all over again. So I began the process of exploring these new styles, as you guys suggested, today. All right, so I'm going to share with you what I use to set my hair in these Bantu knots. Hold on one second. Ugh, okay. Really simple. I used my Elucence Moisture Balance Conditioner. You guys know that's my all-time favorite conditioner. So I washed my hair, I put the leave-in conditioner in, and then I just use the Melly, I don't know how to say it, y'all. Melly Organics pomegranate and honey coil sculpting custard. So that is this product right here. And then I just let my hair air dry. And these were the results. I took the Bantu knots down because I didn't think I was going to film this, but I just decided to do so at the last minute. So this is the hair. It feels really, really good. And the definition is pretty nice, as you guys can probably see. So if you're like me, one of the challenges you may have is that we have this scalpiness, and I'm going to show you guys the back because I feel like that's where my hair is most scalpy. So I'm going to show you like back here, you can probably see like in this area is a little scalpy, on top is a bit scalpy. Hopefully it's coming across on camera. So I'm going to show you some of the processes I use to style my hair given how fine it is. So what you will need is this type of pick. I'm going to use two types, but you definitely want to get this one. This is the comb with the one prong on the end. This is great because it allows you to be really precise where you fluff your hair and work on the diminishing the scalpiness without causing additional frizz or unneeded frizz elsewhere. So use this. And then I'm going to use the Burdock Root buttercream, and this is by Quimette Biologics. I love this. It's great for fine hair, and it's actually formulated for, as you can see down here, fine and thin hair. It's one of the reasons I really like it. The heavy cream is also good for fine hair. You just use less of it. So these are my two favorite products styling wise, for moisture, and then also You'll see how I use it, but it helps to diminish the frizz and it helps me to define curls in other areas. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use a bit of sweet almond oil, and that's this one. Your hair is scalpy in the crown, girl. I know what you mean. It's a struggle, but we're going to get through this together. So I hope these tips help you because I know I'm not alone. Like we're all dealing with some of these challenges. So hopefully we can take this ride together. The other thing I'm going to use is the Mario Badescu. Um, this is a facial spray and this is the rose water. I love this for hair because it allows me to add a very fine mist of water to my hair while also benefiting from the other botanicals in this. So I use this actually on my skin and I also use it on my hair. And I just like to add it to my hair. Now, as you can see, it's a very light mist just so that I can start off the styling process by adding some moisture to my hair. Then the next thing I do is I add the sweet almond oil. Oh, the other things, I'm sorry. I'm over the place, guys. I have not done this in such a long time. But I'm going to use a few bobby pins because I don't know how this is going to go. But with some bobby pins and some of these, you can turn a fail usually into um, a success. So I have those on standby in case we need them because I haven't styled my hair this length in, my goodness, 5 years or more. So we're going to see how that goes. All right. So first I'm going to take a little bit of the sweet almond oil and I like to use just a bit of the sweet almond oil because, you know, we have fine hair. So we don't want to go overboard with any oils because we want to get as much volume as possible. We don't want to weigh down the hair. So you're just going to put that really on the ends of your hair, nowhere near the scalp. So that's what I like to do. That usually works really well for me. And then also it allows me to have a little bit of the oil left on my hands so that as I'm styling, I'm not creating, you know, more frizz. All right. Then the other thing I like to do is take a little bit of the burdock root. And these two things, I like to use the oil just to seal in the moisture I just added with the Mario Badescu product. Oh, I missed that comment. Hold on. And then, oh, hopefully it'll pop back up and I can see your comments. I also have bobby pins on deck whenever I style my hair. Deborah, you know the drill. All right, so I just take a little bit of the burdock root buttercream and I like to coat my hands with that as well. It has nettle in it, it has olive oil in it, and it's really, really good for the hair. This also helps me to add a little bit of shine to my hair as I'm working with it. And then I'll use it in to spot treat areas where I get more frizziness than I want it. All right. So the first thing I do is just kind of go in with my fingers. I lift my curls up, then I go in with my fingers and I just begin to massage the scalp area. This is great because it allows you to get the blood flowing in that area, kind of stimulate that area. The other thing it does if you suffer from scalpiness is the process of going in small circular motions right on the scalp is going to help you to get rid of some of the scalpiness. And then you're also going to use some of the it causes the hair not to get frizzy toward the root, but to get fuller toward the root. And so when you go in with your pick, that's going to help you to have hair down there that helps to create like beneath your curls, not an afro effect, but it just helps the hair to get fuller. I have to figure out like how to exactly explain that. But you want to go in, lift those curls up, and then just kind of massage in the areas where you know you're going to have some scalpiness. It brings all those hairs, all that hair in that area together. And it does kind of create an afro-y look at the roots. But I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, y'all. This I'm not doing it any justice. But yeah, really important to lift the hair up because you don't want the ends to get frizzy. You just want toward the base of your scalp. You want to create you want to camouflage your scalp and you want to get rid of some of that scalpiness. So I'm going to continue to do that and try to keep it small, like the circles you create, small, because if you go too big, then you risk actually getting the ends of your hair, even the mid part of these Bantu knotted areas frizzy, and you just don't want to do that. You want to keep it right on the scalp. How was you guys' day? How are you doing with this COVID pandemic? This is like thrown, it's really caused people to live so much, just differently than we have in the past and spend a lot more time with ourselves and with our families. As you can see, I'm starting to get more fullness the more I do this. So, but how are you guys handling it? I mean, here I live in the Chicagoland area, and out here, we've been on lockdown for about a month now. I know they aren't doing that all over the country, but that's kind of, the situation we've been in. All right, see the fullness happening just by doing that massaging effect. And I'm going to turn around just so that you can see the back of my hair a little better as well and see how it's kind of changed since I showed you guys that area a little while ago. But yeah, we've been on lockdown for a while and I am high risk. You guys know I have the autoimmune illness. And so, um, I have definitely stayed my tail in the house. We've been ordering groceries and, you know, using all of the tools out there to ensure that, we stay as healthy as possible. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to go in toward the root and I'm going to begin just lifting with this pick. You see how much thicker this is looking compared to when we first started? Just that one little act of massaging the scalp, pulling the curls up, massaging the scalp goes a long way in creating, volume. So as I pick this and I'm pulling also, I'm trying to keep in mind the general shape I'm going for, which I think I want to keep it like low on the side still, and then more voluminous as we get to the top. So I'm just going to go in, and you can even hold the curls and pick beneath it, but you're picking that hair that I'm in Peoria and I don't go out for gross unless I have to. Catching up on movies lately with my husband. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I would love to know what movies you're watching, and if you're binge watching anything. I fell in love with the show, what is it? Ozark. Oh my gosh, on Netflix. I started watching that when it first came out a few years ago. And oh my goodness, the third season came out like just in time. And so I finished watching that already. I watched that like in 2 days. But like, what are you guys binge watching? Anybody watch Ozark? Oh my goodness, I love that. Love, love, love that show. All right. Yeah. So we've pretty much been staying in as well. I was like working from home most of the time anyway, because, I had a relapse in December and I've still been kind of trying to overcome that. And so I had been working home several days a week, anyway. So this is kind of like more just a continuation and, a little bit more intense than what I had been experiencing previously, given my health issues. So I just want to show you guys see how I'm still maintaining the definition on the ends, but I do have more fullness in here and on this side as well. I'm just going to lightly with the single prong piece go in my super fine areas in the back. And I'm going to be doing two motions. It's hard for me to do this completely turned around, so I'm going to explain to you guys what I'm doing, and I'm going to actually demonstrate on the side, but I am going to show you the back. All right. It started last year and I lost interest. Guess I need to try again. I heard a lot of people talk about it. Girl, Ozark is so good. It is so good. Luke Cage. Oh, that's really good too. You know what? I need to get back into that. I started watching the first season of Luke Cage, and then I don't know, something happened and I just stopped watching it. And I know that it's no longer in production, so I at least want to watch the remaining seasons of it for sure. But what I'm doing here is I'm going in, and of course, I'm picking like we talked about, but I'm also in areas where I feel like there's a bit of scalpiness, like here. I'll do right here. That area, I'm going in, I'm picking like this, but then I'm also going back and forth up and down that area, and that helps to get rid of the scalpiness in that area. And then I go back in and I just continue to pick up. So Luke Cage, Ozark, any other good shows to binge watch? You know what another show I really like, that I binged watch. I haven't been binge watching it during the lockdown, so to speak, but I was previously, and that was Sherlock. I don't know if you guys like shows like that, but I love British television. Their shows are just so interesting to me, and so they had the series Sherlock, which I love Sherlock Holmes anyway, since I was little. And so I've been watching that, and that's really, really good. If you like the Lord of the Rings, the last three that featured the younger Frodo character, he's also in Black Panther. He is in that along with Benedict Cumberbatch or something like that. He plays Sherlock, and he's like Doctor Who. I don't know if you guys are into sci-fi movies or anything like that. I'm also really into Marvel movies. I'm all about that life. All right. So I'm probably sounding real nerdy to you guys right about now. But yeah, the rest of this process is just like really about shaping and pulling the hair kind of where you want it. I'm also going to say, okay, so this is the last product. I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, but so this is like the traditional pick. This is a smaller traditional pick. Let me see. Hold on. I have a bigger one, and I'll just show you what it's like in comparison, right? So it's just a bit smaller. This is the smallest pick I've been able to find. And I like it because it is smaller. And if you're really, really strategic, you can pull the hair up. If you hold it in some areas and pull it up, it just depends on your hair. So you have to figure out if that will work for you or if you should really stick with using this one. But yeah, I've been trying to incorporate this one a little bit more, but it is a little more difficult to work with because it's still, wider. And because we have to do a lot more manipulation to our hair to get volume, given we have fine hair, you want to diminish as much frizz as possible during your styling process. And that bigger tooth, the whiter tooth comb, it can cause you to develop more frizz. The other thing I would say about when I'm doing Bantu knot outs, the thing I like first of all about Bantu knot outs is that they don't have to be perfectly defined. As the days wear on, I actually like for my Bantu knot out to get frizzy because then it gets bigger and bigger. I just keep lifting it from the scalp. I'll have a bit of definition on the ends, but it just gets bigger and bigger, and I really like that. So you know, um, when you begin the styling process, you really have to think about, okay, do I want volume or do I want definition? If you have fine hair like I do, you're probably not going to get both. And fine hair, I should say, um, fine low density hair. If you have fine hair, but you've got like a lot of density, it may be easier for you. But if you have lower density hair, or you're suffering from alopecia, or you're dealing with hair breakage or thinning, then um, you got to make a choice. Either you're going to really want the definition, or you're going to want the fullness. I usually want the fullness. I don't care that much about definition. Initially, when I first started this natural hair journey, I was all about definition. I'm not so much anymore. I just like the volume. But if feel, because as you're working with these techniques, you may find that, oh, I did too much of the frizzing in the scalp, or the massaging of the scalp, and I got a little more frizz than I wanted to, or I want to really define a specific area. What you could do is you can take the burdock root buttercream. I'm going to just put this up here just so you guys can see that. Because you tell me I don't leave the names of the products on the camera long enough sometimes. Fullness all day. That's right, y'all. Fullness. Oh, little fires everywhere. I've heard that's really good. That's the one with Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon, right? Little fires everywhere. I That looks really good. It looks really intense too. Looks great. Okay. So now, if you find that you got more frizziness anywhere, thank you, Missy. You want to take just a little bit of your burdock root buttercream, or if you have the heavy cream, use the heavy cream, just use less of it, because that's really formulated for high density, thick, tightly coiled hair. So, or it could even be loosely coiled, but it's for very thick hair. And actually, I think they say like coarse hair or something like that. So just use, less of it. You can still use it. Truth be told, that's my favorite one. I just use less of it. And the other thing I really like about it is that I my daughter's also natural. No, she has high density, like the hair of 5 people on her head. She has a lot of beautiful hair, and it's very thick. So, when I get the heavy cream, she can use it and I can use it. So I don't have to buy two different products. So, if you're looking at your budget and, you just want to stretch it as far as possible, I definitely recommend getting the heavy cream if you're sharing it with someone with heavy, thick hair. And then you both can use it. Just use less of it. All right. So I would just, if I had too much frizz in a specific area, I would just grab the area like this with a little bit of the product, and then pay attention to the direction in which you coil the hair. And then you can just go on the end like this, and it'll bring definition back to that area so that it doesn't look as frizzy. That's all. It's really easy. You guys know how to you know, spot check your hair and get those areas that, may have gotten frizzy or something like that. See how that is a little more defined? So you could just do that throughout the hair. You can also take it and continue to kind of scrunch it in. That's part of my nighttime routine when I'm doing Bantu Knot Outs or other styles. I just watched Rich Crazy Asians last night. Oh, how was it, Nat? I would love to know. Um, that movie came up because my daughter and I have been doing movie nights, and I have been introducing her to these to older movies that she may not have been familiar with, and one of them is the Joy Luck Club. Joy Luck Club. I thought it'd be interesting for us to watch that as mother and daughter, because let me tell you something. It was really good. Okay, okay. I'm curious. I will have to check that out. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, that got really, really good reviews. So I'll definitely have to see what that movie, or is it just a movie, or is it like a series? I think it's a movie, but I'll definitely have to check that out. So I'm going to add that to the list. But yeah, Joy Luck Club, if you guys have not seen that, is so good. It's about like a new movie. Okay. Thank you, Nat. I'm definitely going to check it out. I'm getting some really great suggestions on here. But yeah, if you haven't seen Joy Luck Club, I definitely suggest you guys check it out. It is such a powerful and a great movie, I think, for women in general, but especially multi-generational. I think it's really powerful, and you can have some really, really great conversations with your daughters or with your nieces or your mom. Just Really, really good. Um, The Green Book. Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Now that's the one with the guy from Lord of the Rings, the king. Notice how I reference everything back to Lord of the Rings. I have seen that movie over 100 times, y'all. All right, we're in 25 minutes. All right. But yeah, I love that movie. So it's with him, right? And then the guy who I think is gonna be the new Blade. I don't know nobody's names, but I know what movies they're gonna be in. Yes, he's like gonna be the new Blade. There, Marvel is reviving the Blade franchise. So, what is his name? Mashala. That's him, right? Let me know in the comments. All right, so I don't know what this back looks like because normally when I'm styling back there, I have a mirror. I have no mirror, but I'm sure that this is going to look better than it did initially. So this is kind of the back right now. So I'm going to see once I get in my bathroom kind of how the back looks, but you see how there's more hair gathered together and clumped together, and then there's just more fullness in this area. And that's all I do to style my Bantu Knot Outs. This was, as I mentioned, when I first went natural, this was like my go-to hairstyle when I turned natural, and it was difficult, honestly, for me to master at the beginning. But I had a mentor in my curly hair journey. And she kept telling me, like, literally, yes, Marsh Ali. Yep, that's him. Yep. Yep. He's good. I like him. I like him. He's such a great actor. And he has such a regal presence about him. I just love that. So I'll have to check that out. Thank you for the suggestion. Oh my gosh. Another, just going back to movies, and then I'm gonna just follow up with this one more time. Um, I watched with my daughter The Color Purple for the first time in years. Like literally, I don't think I saw the whole Color Purple movie in full since I was probably 13 years old or something like that when it came out, and I went to the movies with my parents because it was like an event. It was like going to see The Wiz or something like that when we were little, because you just didn't see, you know, very many movies with like all black cast, especially when I was growing up. There were very few of them. And so it was really interesting. I had a conversation with my daughter because at the time it was like, there was all this controversy around The Color Purple. Like, Spike Lee didn't feel like a white director should direct it. And I remember my dad did not like the way men were depicted in the movie. And the movie itself is just so, first of all, it was beautifully filmed if you're into that kind of thing. And then also, there's so many points of reference to develop conversations with your daughters, and with young men, but just to develop conversations about your voice and your worth, and decisions we make, and sisterhood, and how we breathe life into one another, if we choose to or not. And just so much stuff. It was just a very interesting movie to have seen all those years later. And I was boohooing the whole time. I'm such a crybaby now that I've gotten older. Okay, let's see. I just watched. Okay. Okay, you're live. Here we go. Yeah, it is still a classic, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, guys. So this is my hair. And did I show you guys the back? But what I was saying is that is practice truly does make perfect. I think people get like afraid to do Bantu knot outs because they are very unpredictable. Like no knot turns out exactly the same, but I highly recommend just trying different techniques, trying different products and things of that nature. And a couple of things that worked really well for me is this, other than trying it until I figured out a technique that worked for my hair. What I learned is that if is number one, never do a Bantu knot out if you have low density fine hair on soaking wet hair. You will get great definition. However, it will be so incredibly difficult to get rid of the scalpiness that is just not even funny. Not funny at all. And you will have wasted all of that time and energy. That's what I learned from my own hair. So if you have similar hair type to mine, be aware of that. Also, the more damp it is or wet, if it is soaking wet, know that you're going to have a lot of shrinkage. Those Bantu nights are going to be super tight. And so you want to think about is if that's the look you're going for. If you want something that's going to be tighter um, and full of definition, then go for what you know, girl. So, but for me, it just doesn't work for me. Um, the other thing I learned is that I prefer to use I prefer to use a custard or a butter when creating my Bantu knots. All right, so like I said, I will not do them on soaking wet hair at all. Hold on, somebody put something up here. Oh my gosh, I can't stand this. This keeps putting something on here about super chats. I don't want, I just want live chat. I don't know what that is. But did you ever consider sister locks? I did consider sister locks. Thank you for the tip. I will avoid doing Bantu knot outs on soaking wet hair. My hair isn't dense. Okay. You're absolutely right. The color purple. Yes, Missy. It's so classic. It's so wonderful. Okay, so yeah, the do not do it on soaking wet hair. I do suggest damp hair or doing it on blown out hair and then the styling process. If you do it on blown out hair, it's going to be, to me, a little bit easier to get defined. So you'll have the defined curls you want and you'll have more hang time if you do it on blown out hair. Where it gets a little bit sticky, and I have to try it now that my hair is shorter. But when my hair was longer, what I realized was doing Bantu knots on blown out hair made it much more difficult for me to get like all of the fullness I would have wanted if I did it on blown out hair. Um, could be a different story now that my hair is this length. So we'll have to see. But to me, it's easier to manage the hair. Separation is easier without a whole bunch of frizz when you do it on blown out hair. And again, you do get more of an elongated curl. But to me, the best, the best Bantu knot outs are when I do it on damp hair and I use a cream-based styler. The gel, it what happens with the gel is if I use gel as my styler, I'll have lots of indentations in my curls. Like you don't see indentations in my curls. This just looks like a springy curl, right? But when I use gel on my hair, like when you twist it, or if you choose to two-strand twist and then Bantu knot, you get all of the impression of the two-strand twist, like wrapping around the hair. I don't know if I'm describing this properly, but it creates all of that kind of definition. So you don't get a nice, kind of smooth curl. It just gives you a different look that I don't particularly care for. It just doesn't work well on my hair. Maybe if I had higher density hair, it might look different for sure. But yeah, I prefer not to use gel as my styler. I prefer to use, unless it is something like this. Like this is actually, it has a consistency. It says it's a custard, but it almost looks like a gel to me. But it is thicker than your typical gel, so I don't know. But with the exception of this, um, again, it says it's a coil sculpting custard, but for the most part, I would suggest using some type of twist cream, like Camille Rose has that almond jai butter twist cream that works really well. Um, I would say you could try this one if you wanted to. You know, just make sure that your hair again is just not very damp at all. Otherwise, I fear that this would weigh your hair down. Um, I have also in the past used my own mango butter or shea butter blend to do it, the twist or braid out or twist out, whatever it is I'm doing, and it comes out beautifully. So I just find that cream stylers work better than a gel for doing these styles. And then, you know, the hair loosens up more with these kinds of stylers also, and they do a really good job of keeping your hair like soft and hydrated, which is really great as well. So that was the other thing that I learned. Not Don't do it on soaking wet hair. And use a cream based styler. The third lesson I learned was not to do small sections. When you create your Bantu knots, make the sections a little bit on the larger side, like I would say like an inch or inch and a half by inch and a half all the way around. That is really helpful, because if you do them too thin and you have lower density hair, your curls, they just don't look right. It just doesn't look right. It don't look right because the Bantu knots will be really, really small because you have low density hair, and then you're not getting like these fat, you know, Bantu knots. You get these skinny, like weird, stringy looking things. It's just not cute. So take my advice, or you know, play around with the sizes of your Bantu knots to see what finished coil you prefer. You may like the smaller ones. For me, I felt like it was kind of a no-go. What else? Oh, the thing I mentioned to you guys is make a decision. What's most important to you? Is it volume or is it texture? And again, to me, you know, at this point, I like the volume more than anything. You know, if you want a little bit more texture, you can fake, you know, the texture by again getting a cream-based styler and just coiling it around that area like we kind of talked about. Um, Earlier in this video, and you can get more definition. But yeah, I go for volume, and that gives me the flexibility to again do that scalp massaging technique. And that technique works for wash and goes. It works for any style you might create if you have low density fine hair. Again, working with a finer tooth comb so that you can be really specific about where you're lifting the hair without doing a whole lot of damage or creating a lot of friction in other parts of your hair. That helps you to keep what definition you will have, while also creating, you know, the volume you're looking for as well. The other thing is, you know, keep your bobby pins handy. If you do a Bantu knot out and it doesn't turn out like the way you want it, one of my go-to styles, it didn't matter whether it turned out fine or not. If it was a fail on the first date, I would just use these and just kind of pin these back on the side. I'll show you that, and just pin it back on the side, and you get some cute kind of style. Pull the front up like it's a, you know, pulling it back like it's a French roll or whatever, pinning it up, and then you just have all this curliness on top. It's a winner any day of the week. But usually what I will do is on about day 4, I'll go ahead and that'll be kind of my go-to style to just pin the sides back, you know, because the Bantu knots are getting older because I don't retwist them every night. I just sleep with a bonnet on. And I think that they actually look better the older it gets. So definitely suggest that. And here's a tip on keeping your bobby pins in. So if you have thinning hair, alopecia, fine hair, bobby pins can be challenging because they tend to slide out of your hair, or at least that's what I experience. I will put my bobby pins in, and then by the end of the day, like not even the end of the day, but they'll literally be hanging like this, or they will have moved out of place. So one thing you could do is you take it, I'm just going to demonstrate here, and you take your bobby pin, you go ahead and open it, you get your hair in. So see how it's flat like that, and then you just push it forward. That helps you to actually anchor that bobby. Really have any problem with it. Oh, I hope my screen didn't freeze. It looks frozen on this end, but I'm going to keep going in case you guys can see me. All right, and the other thing that's really helpful to keep my bobby pins in place is to put my hair back. Like if I just wanted to pull this back or pull it up like that, however I was doing it, taking it and making an X with the bobby pins, using two bobby pins. So I use one and I put it in this way, and then I take the other bobby pin and I put it in across the first one, like making an X. And then that helps to keep it in place. So then the bobby pins don't slide out over the course of the day. And it's just that simple. So I don't know if you guys are leaving me messages because all of a sudden my screen froze. Oh, yeah, my screen froze. So I got a question about whether I had ever considered sister locks. I think they look absolutely gorgeous. I'm afraid, however, that they will look super scalpy on my head. And so I've not explored them any farther, just because I don't know that I would like the way they look because my hair is such low density. But yeah, that's the extent. I think they're absolutely beautiful. There's a young lady on here. Oh, I can't think of her name, but she recently got Sister Lux, I think last year, and she's been on a journey with them. And I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. I just don't think, like, I don't do two-strand twists. I don't do mini twists. I don't do, like, there are a lot of styles I don't do just because fine hair. I can't go there. That rhymed. All right, last thing I'm gonna share with you guys are just these combs. These come in really handy too because you could use them same way as you use your bobby pins. I can't put I've never been able to put these little combs. I used to wear these when I was little. I've never been able to just slide it in and then be done. It because it'll the weight, and I don't have enough hair for it to truly hang on to. Oh, I am frozen. Oh, goodness. Okay, let me try to see if I can do something here really quick and come and try to come back. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. Let me try something really quickly. Let's see. Okay, let's see. You know what, guys? It's not even letting me do kind of what I want to do to come out of this. Let me try one more thing. If it, yay! I figured it out. Okay, good. Can you guys see me? I just want to make sure because it says I'm live and I see myself moving. So hopefully you guys can see me. I hope so. And you're back. Cool. All right. Thank you, Nat. I appreciate it. So maybe I should demonstrate those. So if you, I don't know if you guys could see me, but I was demonstrating kind of how to keep bobby pins in your hair if you have fine hair. And then the last thing I'm going to do is demonstrate how to keep these in your hair if you have fine hair as well. Because what will happen is because my hair is so fine, these things will just slide on down the end of my head. So what I discovered is I could use two methods. So the first method is I could grab the hair like this. Yeah, this was like one of my go-tos, especially when I was like in the corporate, and you have to adhere to certain protocols in the office. But this is one of the things I did. So I would take my bobby pin and I would put it in kind of on an angle forward. So I've shifted it forward, like on an angle this way. And then I take the other bobby pin and I put it in that way, creating like an X. And then I just pull this hair down. And then that would keep the hair pulled back and keep the bobby pins in place. So that's one really easy way to keep your bobby pins in. I'm going to show you another in case all of your bobby pins have disappeared and you're only down to two, which happens to me on a regular basis. All right, so I'll take the hair like this and I'll take the bobby pin and I'll open it. I'll scoop the hair in between those sections, and then I just push the bobby pin forward like that. And that actually anchors it in place so it doesn't move. And it literally stays put all day. So I don't have to worry about any challenges with it that way. And then the only other thing was with these, if I want to utilize these, I will take it and like I can't just take it and shove it, like that and it have it stay in place. This will just slide out of my hair. I have so much energy today. I'm so happy. All right, it'll just slide out of my hair. So what I do is I take it and I put it where I want it, and then I just push it forward like that as well to keep it in place, and it stays in place all day. No issues. All right, so you could try any of those. Just don't, of course, don't pull your hair real tight or put the combs in really tightly or anything like that because, you don't want to do any damage to your edges. You don't want to be pulling on your hair in general if you have fine hair, especially. And, just keep it going. So, yes, these are the final results. And I like it. I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out, especially this section back here, because it curls differently than the rest of my hair just in general. But I absolutely like it. This is good. So, hope you guys learned something. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I probably should have said that at the beginning, but I wasn't thinking about that. But I hope you learned something new. I hope that you will give Bantu Knot Outs a try. And I enjoyed chatting with you guys. Please do everything you can to stay safe, observe social distancing, stay home if you possibly can, and, look for the positives in these moments. Um, Thank you, Nat. Look for the positive in these moments. I really appreciated being in the same place as my daughter. She's an adult now, and your lives, you're just busy going, going, going. And so it's been a lot of fun just kind of hanging out with her and having movie nights and, cooking and just chatting and spending time together. That's been a real benefit that, we probably wouldn't have had otherwise. Hey, Missy. Oh, girl, thank you for spending time with me. I truly appreciate it. I really, really do. I used to do these lives so much more often, and with, my illness, like today, I don't know where this energy came from. I'm just praising God that I have it. And I'm glad that I got to share this with you guys because I was like, oh, I should film it, but then it's like takes so much time and effort, to go through that process the way you want it, to appear. And I was just like, you know what? Just do it. Do it. Just do it. Go live. Do it. And do it live. Because, a lot of times, a lot of these videos, have folks and they do their hair, but they don't show you all the steps that they took and you don't see it real time. So that as you're styling is at least I could be alone in that, but that was my challenge when I first started doing Bantu knot outs. And so it was like, well, how did they go from that to that? And so I hope this video will help someone. And again, I have just enjoyed spending time with you guys. So again, praying your safety, praying that you enjoy this time of solitude and this time with your families. And, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. And I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback about what kind of styles or videos you'd like to see me create next. And I look forward to just doing it. I'm so happy. This situation is not what we would have it be, but it is what it is. And so we have to. I just got off work and I missed most of your live. Thank you for sharing time with us. Hey, Kim. Oh, girl, you could watch it. I am going to upload this live, so you'll see it. I'm not sure. You guys let me know if I should keep it up. It's long. I did not intend for it to be this long. But yeah, we're going to get through this. We're strong enough to get through this. God has deposited everything in us we need to get through this. And the blessing is that we are still here. So many people are not. And, so many people are experiencing, loss. And, we've probably all known someone or known of someone who experienced complications as a result of the coronavirus, or we lost someone as a result of the coronavirus. And so, it's not an easy road. It certainly isn't. But, let's count every day a blessing, that we're moving forward through this and moving toward. Um, what is next. Let's not mourn. And I've had to deal with that for, me personally, just mourning the past, or being so caught up in that moment that you don't really take, um, or you don't really embrace what is currently before you, right? We're going to be stronger because of this. I've been calling people more than I would normally call them, engaging with people in different ways more than I would have. Again, I'm able to spend time with my daughter and share things with her that I may not have done otherwise. We're cooking together. It's just, find the blessing in the moment, um, whenever possible. All right. Love you guys. I want you to stay safe. I will see you in the stories on this page, and I will see you in the community page where I tend to post pretty regularly on one of those two. All right. Mwah. Love you. Take care. Bye bye.